Hey, 420 MSP crowd, Harry here. And if it's a Friday, I'm talking to my main man, Josh, down in Southern California, as we go around the horn monthly. It's a lot of fun. And Josh, you've had a busy month, my friend. What I want to key in on, and I've got the URL down in the blog conversation, so folks be sure to click through to that. But I want to key in on the page that you've dedicated at your MSP practice, LA Creative Tech. And you have a dedicated page to the vertical for the legal cannabis industry. So talk to us about your messaging and what you're trying to convey, and maybe even that photo that people have to click through to see. And then we'll talk about some early success you're already having with it. So go, sir. What are you trying to communicate to get me to read your page and click through?
Hey, what's going on, 420 MSP crowd? Thanks for having me back, Harry. It's always fun to be here. The thing that I'm going for, I mean, generally with my company as a whole, we're a fairly creative, non-traditional bunch of people here at the office, and as well as our clients. And so I've always been someone, even before cannabis came in as a vertical, just always focused on musicians and creatives and, let's just say weirdos.
Yeah.
And so I was redesigning my web page, and I was working on various verticals that we service. But cannabis has really become one of our three core pillars of the company as far as our messaging is concerned. And what I did in making this page, as you can see if you click on the link, it's got a picture of a guy rolling a joint at the top of the page.
Yep.
And so this is made to appeal to people who know that they're non-traditional, right? This isn't, we're not dressing this up in lab coats even. This is really
Hey, I resemble that.
But no, seriously, it's so interesting because I got the first lead that this page delivered since we have Drift Chat installed on our website. If people are on our website and they want to contact us, they can click the chat link. And it tells me which page that they come to us from. And I got what is by far the most personal lead that I've ever gotten from the website before.
Yep.
Where someone was really talking about the values of my company: creative, non-traditional, inclusive. These are things that we actually try to convey in all of our branding and messaging. And it's amazing to me that the most personal lead I ever pulled off the website is someone who actually could see not only that we understand cannabis, but can see that we're a different type of company through the graphics we use, through the color we use, through the messaging that we use. And this is this company is an ancillary business to cannabis. They provide business services to cannabis companies. It's not closed yet. It doesn't even really concern me if it closes or not. The interesting part to me is that by putting out the right message and using the right imagery, the leads you're going to get back are going to be pre-qualified in a sense. In this case, not pre-qualified from a business sense, but pre-qualified from a company fit sense.
So I want to talk about this. Earlier this week, Josh, you're aware, and I believe you've been a guest in the past on our MSP Tech Talk academic series. We do like 6 classes every quarter. So you got your summer quarter. And earlier this week, we had Thomas Beck from a creative agency in Seattle. So he's not an MSP or anything, but he has served larger MSPs that would see the value of hiring an agency. And in particular, he was involved, in fact, Northern California MSP for the Surface, Microsoft Surface promotion, and first class. So Thomas Beck and you and others who are hearing this, go to the SMB Nation YouTube channel and you can watch the webinar again. And it was about the customer journey, meet the customer where they're at on their journey. And he provided some updated statistics that we all know about, that, the customer does the research, they're 65% of the way there by the time they reach out to you. Yeah. And a couple of things that came out of that webinar, because that's what you're describing, is the customer was doing research, got your messaging. Yeah. Thomas Beck would go on to tell you that, okay, got them up to 65%, and clearly you did. Then your response, your sales approach, whether you're using sort of the tired old solution selling approach or whatever paradigm, but it has to be consistent for that remaining, what do I have left? 35% of the journey.
Yeah.
So you have to be consistent, right? You can't communicate, for example, some keywords jumping up that I like, IT security, in your first sentence. I like that with the cannabis industry, with compliance and traceability and all the regulation.
Yeah.
So you have to be consistent. I'm sure you are. I'm kind of almost talking rhetorically, but you have to be consistent with this gentleman who reached out to you in a very sincere way. I mean, dude, he took some time to chat it up with you, dude.
Yeah, he sent me about 5 paragraphs about our being a good fit. I just had never seen someone take that much care before in their approach.
Yeah, and I think, you know, again, this, like many of our conversations, we are talking about the cannabis technology vertical, fine. But this conversation could be about healthcare. It could be about darn near any vertical. Go ahead.
You know, one message I think for anyone who's listening, something that this guy who sent me these 5 paragraphs, I got on a phone call with him, and he said, I got to tell you, I had the worst morning. I spent 4 hours looking through these ugly, boring, templated companies who did not match us. And he said, then I found your website, and it immediately made me think, wow, there's a creative IT company that exists. And then he went back and Googled creative managed service providers and found only one other person in LA. He said there's 2 people in LA, you and one other person. Like you gotta choose your niche and you gotta live it.
Yeah. Amen, brother. If my walls could talk. I always like to joke, my friend, I'd have to cut off their tongues, but hey, quickly, because you are a thought leader in this space. So if you wouldn't mind rattling off, where might people see you in the next couple of months, and end with Continuum in Pittsburgh, where I'll all see you, but will you be out and about at other events, or is Continuum the next one?
I mean, the 2 big things I have coming up in the next 3 months or so is Continuum in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And then I'm going to be speaking at the inaugural AVIC conference in Santa Barbara in January. And
could you repeat? I missed that name.
AVIC. It's the first conference for the AVIC network monitoring product.
Oh, got it. Yep.
It's also my first MSP conference where I'm not only speaking, but also DJing.
Wow. Okay. Count me in. I'm
DJing the main party, and I'm going to be speaking about my own, you know, basically the topic that I tend to speak on is scalability and outsourcing.
Yeah, you do. Yep.
So that was where I first met you, Harry, I think back in 2017.
Yeah, and Continuum in Vegas. Yes, sir.
Continuum in Vegas. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else between October and then, unless maybe I meet you at one of your events, Harry.
No, absolutely. I always just like to end with that because, you know, Josh, we're all in this together, right? And we're side by side building a community in a fascinating space. And by the way, and I'll double in on this, that as I'm kind of glancing over the page that folks can click through to, I like the voice you're using. I am a customer and you're speaking to me, Josh. You are not telling me how many awards you've won or how great you are. And I appreciate that, because that's a little bit braggadocious and not especially the best biz dev approach.
It doesn't work, right? It's just not. And you know, everyone should go read Story Brand by Donald Miller.
Yeah.
I hadn't read it when we came up with this voice, but it confirms everything that's here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, continue, good luck. And I know next month we're going to have a chance to talk about, you'll be able to reveal some business successes and what you're doing in this space. So I look forward to it. Thank you, sir.